Let's see. కౌంట్ రావట్లేదు. ఓకే, ఈ వేరియబుల్ అన్నెసెసరీ కదా, ఇది వాడనే వాడలేదు. Pune is duplicate, Hyderabad is duplicate, Pune is again duplicate. So for you got this 2 times. Pune is duplicate, Pune is duplicate 2 times వచ్చింది. Hyderabad is duplicate, Hyderabad is duplicate 2 times వచ్చింది ఇది కూడా. So but that's okay. To a certain extent, at least you're able to complete this assignment. You will get more idea about this assignment once I complete the collections framework. This will be possible with your collections framework. So once I explain that our collections, you will be able to solve this assignment even more quickly. Now yesterday we wanted to start our scanner, but by the time we started scanner, there was something that was missing here, which is your constructor. Now first we will understand what a constructor is, and then we will understand what is scanner. Constructor. So before we understand about constructor, we need to have a very concrete idea what a class is all about, what an object is about. What is a class? Okay, collection of methods. Methods of functions almost identical है. Next collection of methods. अरे जोर से बोलो. अच्छा, टेम्पलेट. किस बात के लिए टेम्पलेट? ऑब्जेक्ट. ओके, व्हाट डज एन ऑब्जेक्ट डू? To enter the main method. Okay, without main method object possible kada? Okay, let me show you. What is the syntax for creating an object? Okay, class name, object name is equal to new class name parenthesis. But there is no error here. There is no error here. You can create an object even without main method also. Okay, you can create an object, but it will not get executed. You can create the object. I mean object will be created. You don't have to worry. But it is of no use by creating there. So let me give you a very basic understanding, one more revision for you before we move forward with the constructor topic, because understanding constructor gives you better idea or more idea about your classes and objects. Okay, it's also important that you understand the difference between an instance variable, local variable and static variable also. So let's try to understand these things once again in a very easy to understand fashion. This time, how should I explain this? Okay, I'll take the example of this Candy Crush game. Take the example of a Candy Crush game. Your Candy Crush basic game is like a class. Think of your Candy Crush game as a class. It's a recipe, it's a template, it's a blueprint. But when each of you create your own Candy Crush profile, each one of you has your own Candy Crush profile, your username, your own your own face profile. Basically you have your own face, you have your own costume, you have your own profile, everyone. So every single user has their own profile, every single user has their own game. So think of this as the object. Your game is the recipe, each one of you having your own game is the object. Can you play a game without creating without creating a user? It's not possible. Every user needs to have a profile. NFS చిన్నప్పుడు NFS గేమ్ ఆడుతున్నా, నీడ్ ఫర్ స్పీడ్, ఆర్ మేబీ షాడో ఫైట్, or maybe even PUBG. So PUBG game is like PUBG. The entire PUBG game is like your class. Inside that, each one of you will be having your own profile. Each one of you will be on your own level. Each one of you has your own customization, own guns, own skins, own face. Each one of you will be having your own customization. Think of it like your object. Basic template is the game. The customizations, your profile that you do is the object. Then what are your static variables, local variables, instance variables? Instance variables are like your, if I have to put it, you know, your level number, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Those are unique for each player. No two players might have the same level. So when I explained to you about your different types of variables here, every time you create an object, the value is getting initialized to the original value. Here x value is 2, it's an instance variable, but when you create an object vs, and if you do vs.x++, it is getting increased to 3 without any issue. But again, if you create one more object, you will not be using the updated value here. You will be again back to the same 2 value only. So in the same PUBG game, when there is only one user, the one user will be playing their game. If you are the player, you will be playing your own game. You will be reaching level 1, level 2, level 10, level 20. But if your friend all of a sudden creates his own profile, he cannot use your profile. He will start from 0 only again. He will start from level 1 only. So this is like your instance variable. So every instance variable needs an object. Every user needs a profile. Prati user ko oka profile kavali. Every user requires a profile. So for every instance variable, you need an object. So the game is like the class. The profiles that you create inside the game are like your objects, and the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 that you do are your instance variables. Each instance variable will have to be, each time you want to access an instance variable, you need to use an object. When you create a separate object, a duplicate copy of the original variable is created and you are accessing the duplicate value. Just like your levels and your friends' levels cannot be same. You have played till level 1 to level 50, and after level 50, from level 51 onwards, you cannot give it to your friend and ask him. You cannot give your progress to your friend. Unless your friend logs in as your user, your friend cannot use your progress. Similarly, the same with your instance variable also. You can do whatever updates that you want to do with the instance variable. Not a problem. It will keep on working with the updates only, with that object. But if you create one more object, it will be back to the original value. It will start from scratch again. Start from whatever is the initial value it is. Just like your PUBG game. Your profile is different, your friend's profile is different. Each profile is like an object. So whenever you create an object, it will be back to square one. It will start from the initial value again. These are your class, objects, and your instance variables. Then what is a local variable? Local variable ante endi? Okay, your local variables are like the number of kills that you do in a single game. But PUBG ఆడుంటారు కదా, you must have played PUBG. So in PUBG game, you make a kill. You will kill the opposite player. So it will be only for that game. Next game again, these kills will not be carried forward to the next game. Next game it will start freshly again. ఆ గేమ్కి అక్కడికి కిల్స్ అయిపోయినాయి. You have killed 10 players in that game. That's over, finish. For the next game, you'll again have to start from 0. So it is particular only to that level. అది ఆ లెవెల్ వరకే పరిమితం. అది outside that level, in level 1, if you have killed 5 people or 5 players, that's it. Level 1 se khatam, done. Next level, if you kill another 10 people, it will not be 5 plus 10, it will be only 10 in the second level. That's what your local variable is. Limited to that particular scope. When you take your static variable, what is static variable? Static variable is something that is commonly shared by everyone in the class. So your leaderboard, you will see that someone from China is the number 1 player in PUBG, or you will see someone from US is the number 1 player in PUBG. Rankings aate na, rankings leaderboard mein. I don't know if PUBG has rankings or not. I'm just giving you an example. Open any game, you will see the rankings. This is the number 1 player, he's from this country, this is the level he's playing. And you can leaderboard vastadi. I don't know if you have ever seen that leaderboard. In any game, there will be a leaderboard. If it's an online game, leaderboard untadi. how many games did he play, how many did he win, which country he is from, what is his age. You will get all those details at the top of the leaderboard dashboard. Those are your static variables, which is common for everyone, which will be shared by everyone in the entire class. So those are like your static variables. Can the static variables change? Yes. This week the person from China is the number one player in the dashboard. Next week the person from US will be the number one player in the dashboard. So static variables can update, but it's just that they will be shared by everyone in the class. These are your class, object, static variable, local variable, instance variable. Then what is main method? Main method क्या है? Main method is the whole crux of your entire program. If there is no main method, none of these will be coming into picture. Main method is like the play button on your game. If you don't click the play button on your smartphone, the game will not even start. Main method is like that play button. If you click the play button, the game will start. Only then you will have the instance variables, local variables, static variables, all this nonsense. If the start button, if the play button itself is not there, you will not have any of these things coming into picture. So main method is like that play button that you have in the game. Unless you click the play button, the game will not start, the game will not move forward. So unless you have a main method, you cannot execute your program. That's how your main method will work. Then what is constructor in this case? फिर constructor क्या होगा इस example में? Constructor ఏమైతుంది example? Constructor is nothing but it's also a kind of a method, it's also a kind of a code. Bro, once you complete level 1, you will go to level 2, or once your friend creates his profile, automatically level 1 is loaded for him. How is automatically level 1 loaded for him? Think of it as a constructor. A constructor is automatically executed when an object is created. Your friend creates a profile for himself. Friend వాడికి ఒక profile create చేసుకున్నాడు. His first time logging into PUBG, he has created his profile. The first game he is going to play is level 1. How is level 1 loaded for him? It's like a constructor. Automatically when an object is created, that constructor will trigger immediately. You don't have to call it also. Just create the object, automatically it will be executed. Atla. So this is the best way you can understand here. Class, object, static, local, instance variables, methods and constructors. Okay? Think of your PUBG game and remember it like this. Think of your Candy Crush game and remember it like this. This is the best way you can understand. Because if you go deep into the code, if you are good with your coding skills, you can easily understand these things pretty without much hassle. But if you still need some time to master your coding skills, remember it like this. So the game is like the class. The profiles that you create are your objects. Okay? The levels that you go, level 1, level 2, level 3, those are your instance variables. So that is why instance variables cannot be shared between two objects. నీ లెవెల్ని మీ ఫ్రెండ్కి ఇవ్వగలుగుతావా? You are playing in level 51. You are feeling level 51 to be difficult. Can your friend log in with his user and play your level 51? He cannot. हाँ? तेरा फ्रेंड तेरा ईमेल आईडी से लॉगिन करेगा तो होगा. तेरा फ्रेंड उसका ईमेल आईडी से तेरे गेम को कैसा खेलेगा? Not possible. Your friend has to log in from his account. Can he play level 51 on your account? Not possible है ना? हर एक का अलग प्रोफाइल है. Each profile has a separate email ID. So let's say Zishan is feeling a little bit difficult to play level 51. Zishan123@gmail.com is the user. Now if Sai wants to play Zishan's level 51, Sai can't. अरे फोन लेके खेलना नहीं, आईडी लेके खेलना पड़ेगा. तू आईडी देगा, तू पासवर्ड देगा, तो तेरा आईडी पासवर्ड देगा, तू नहीं देगा. So that is why instance variables are these level 1, level 2, level 3, which cannot be transferred between two different variables or two different objects, which cannot be shared. Each object has its own instance variable, a duplicate copy of that particular variable. Now here in each game you will be killing some people, you will be taking some guns. What are these variables? These are examples of which kind of variable? Local variable. In each game, in each level, you will be killing some players. Okay, 5 headshots. Okay, 5 normal shots. 2 normal shots, whatever it is, whatever you call it in PUBG. So You have earned some money. GTA में देखो, GTA में you are earning some money. Okay, all of these are your local variables. Local only to that particular level. Outside that level, they are of no use. उस लेवल के बाद उनका कोई अहमियत नहीं है. ఆ లెవెల్ తర్వాత ఇక పనికిరావు, అక్కడికే ఆగిపోతాయి అవి. Now, what are your static variables which are accessible by everyone in the class? Sometimes even outside the class also. Everyone who is part of the class or everyone who is present in the class can access the static variable, but without creating the object. Okay, if there is a person who is a number one ranking player in PUBG, the same person will be the number one ranking player in the PUBG for you, everyone. हर किसी को वही दिखेगा. For profile number 1, US guy is the number one ranking player. For profile number 2, China player will be the number one player. No, nothing like that. The number one player dashboard is same for everyone. So this is how your static variable is going to work. Static variable is something that will be shared by everyone. That is common for everyone in the class, which is your leaderboard. Then, what is your constructor? Whenever you create a profile, creating a profile is nothing but it's like creating an object. Whenever a profile is created, automatically level 1 is loaded for your friend. Your friend will start from level 1. How? This is just like a constructor. Automatically when an object is created, automatically some certain piece of code is executed by your JDK. Nothing but your constructor. Now, that also looks like a method only. అది కూడా ఒక మెథడ్ లాగా కనిపిస్తుంది. So, constructor is a piece of code which executes when object is created. This is the first point. Then constructor name is same as the name of the class in which it is created. Constructor looks like a method but does not have any return type, not even void. So constructor is a piece of code which executes when an object is created. Which automatically executes when an object is created. Constructor's name is same as the name of the class in which it is created. It looks like a method but does not have any return type. So, this is my main method. Then how do I create a constructor? Simple. Constructor's name is same as the name of the class name. So, name of the class name is constructor concept. Looks like a method. So, obviously I will write this. It does not have any return type, not even void. Na return type void रहेगा, ना कुछ return type रहेगा. So that's it. This is my constructor done. That's it. And whatever that I want to write inside the constructor, I can write it. అర్థం కాలే? యాక్సెస్ స్పెసిఫైయర్ ఇంకా రాలేదు. అది అప్పుడు వచ్చినప్పుడు నీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. ప్రస్తుతానికి అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ యాక్సెసిబుల్ ఓన్లీ. ఇంకా నీకు యాక్సెస్ మోడిఫైర్స్ రాలేదు కాబట్టి అవి అప్పుడే అర్థం కావు. రిటర్న్ టైప్ ఇస్ ది ఓన్లీ డిఫరెన్స్. constructor name is also a difference. If you want to create a random constructor like this A, if you randomly put A and call it constructor, it won't work. Randomly A बोल के इसको constructor बोलेगा, it does not work. The constructor name has to be same as the name of the class in which is created. It has to be same. The class name and the constructor has to be same. And when you create an object, see, if you want to execute this piece of code, it won't execute because constructor is executed automatically when an object is created. So we are not yet creating any object. మనం ఇంకా object create చేయలేదు. We did not create the object. So obviously this will not be executed. But once I create a object, This will automatically execute my code. Observe. See, what am I doing here? I am creating an object and I am saying new constructor. एक नया PUBG profile create करो. Create a new PUBG profile for me. That is what I am saying here when I am creating a new object. So I need not call it. Method के लिए क्या कर रहे थे हम लोग? What were we doing for method? We are simply doing. First we are creating the object and then we are saying. Object create करने के बाद क्या कर रहे थे? What were we doing after creating the object? You call the method object dot method name, but for constructor not really necessary. When you create the object, then itself your constructor is automatically executed. Done. Over. So this is as simple as this entire class is like the PUBG game, and your friend is creating his own profile for the first time, and your friend has got a new profile for himself. Why? Because he has created a profile. प्रोफाइल क्रिएशन इज जस्ट लाइक योर ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएशन. सो तुम्हारा फ्रेंड का प्रोफाइल जो है उसका नाम है सीसी. योर फ्रेंड्स पबजी गेम प्रोफाइल इज सीसी. नाउ व्हाट इफ यू वांट टू क्रिएट योर ओन पबजी, आई मीन मतलब यू वांट टू क्रिएट योर ओन प्रोफाइल. तुमको भी एक प्रोफाइल क्रिएट करना है इन द सेम पबजी गेम, बिकॉज इन योर पबजी गेम you have all sorts of face is different, hair is different, uniform is different, gun is different. You want to customize it for yourself. నీకు నచ్చినట్టు కస్టమైజ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నావు. not everyone is going to play with the same skin, same costume, same kind of, some person wants a different hairstyle, some person wants a different costume, some person wants a different skin color, different gun. So how can we customize this? If we only create a constructor like this, how are we going to customize this? Simple. In the same class, you can create another constructor with the same name, no problem. But we can parameterize the constructor. We will say this constructor will be int x. Same constructor can again be created in the same class, not a problem. But this time, this constructor has an integer as the parameter. So see, but only one constructor is called. Why not the second constructor? Why is the second constructor not called? You need to again create a profile. जो तुम्हारा friend customization कर रहा है, your friend wants to do a customization, and if he wants to do the customization, then he has to create a new object, a new profile altogether again. You constructor package, and I'll set 2. I'll pass 2 as the variable for this constructor. See, your profile is created, your friend's profile is created. Your profile is a normal profile without any customization. Your friend's profile is a profile with lot of customizations, lot of different skins, different guns, different hairstyle, different costume, different color. This is how it is. See, both the constructors are now created. So you are creating 2 PUBG profiles here. That's how you can understand this. Okay? Now what if you want to create one more profile? Okay, तुमको फिर से एक और प्रोफाइल क्रिएट करना है. You want to create one more profile. I'm getting error. Why? Can you use the same username again? No, you need to use a different username. So obviously give a different object name. Khatam. Done. One more PUBG profile, one more PUBG user is created here. Khatam. But this user and this user have similar profiles because there is no customization being used. Now I want a third type of customization. एक तीसरा तरीके का customization चाहिए मेरे को. Okay, this is one more constructor that I have created, and constructor concept cc3 is equal to new constructor concept 1.5f. Khatam. A brand new profile is created once again with a different customization altogether. Or let's say if you want to create something, see, your class name is PUBG. Okay, inside the PUBG you want to create a PUBG profile for your player. तुम्हारे player के लिए you want to create a PUBG profile. So public static void main, write the constructor here. How will you write the constructor? What will be the name of the constructor? Huh? What is the name of the constructor? PUBG. Khatam. Done. Name of the class name is same as the constructor name is same as the name of the class. This is a basic PUBG profile. So will this be executed? If I execute the program, will this get executed? No. What should happen? Create object. So PUBG player1 is equal to new PUBG. Khatam. Automatically your player1 is created, but this time I want a player with different skin color. So skin అంటే మరి రేసిస్ట్ అయిపోతుందేమో. లెట్స్ టేక్ స్ట్రింగ్ గన్ టైప్. ఓకే, system.out.println PUBG profile for gun type and whatever is the gun type it is. So when you create a player 2 PUBG player 2 is equal to player 1 का क्या हालत होगा? What is his situation? वाड़ी परिस्थिति ఏంది? He is getting a basic profile, basic gun, basic skin, basic costume, basic hairstyle, everything basic. But here you want to modify something. So you want a different gun. So player 2 is equal to new PUBG of, let's say, Endra gun pair cheppura okati. What is the gun name? What is the most common gun used in PUBG? AK-47. AK-47. Khatam. Done. So what is the difference between player 1 and player 2? Player 1 has basic PUBG profile, but player 2 has a PUBG profile for gun type AK-47. उसका गन AK-47 है उसका. Now you want to create a third player PUBG again. Player 3 new PUBG this time. हाँ बोलो, दूसरा गन का नाम बोलो. M416 M416. Okay, see, you got a third player again. तीसरा player आ गया तुमको. No, if I create an instance variable here, okay, instance variable, मैं क्या करूँगा? instance variable में int level is equal to 0. हर कोई level 0 से start करेगा. प्रति ఒక్కరు level 0 నుంచి start చేస్తాడు కదా. Everyone starts from level 0. Now what I will do is I'll simply do player 1 dot level plus plus. Player 1 level plus plus. Now system.out.println player 1 level plus player 1 dot level. What will be printed here? Em print avutadi. What is player 1 ka level now? If I execute the program, 0 कैसे होगा? इंक्रीज कर रहा हूं ना मैं यहाँ पे 1. Now if I do the same thing, system.out.println player 2 का level. player 2 का object क्या है? What is the object for player 2? player 2 का object क्या है? What did I create for player 2? player 2 dot level. Now what will be the level of player 2? 0 रहेगा कि 1 से start करेगा? वो 0 से start करेगा, because each object is like a different player, different profile. See, player 2 का level क्या है? 0. खत्म. Now understood the difference between instance variable and local variable? समझ में आया अभी? Now if I create player 3 already created है. I will do is player 3 कुछ ज़्यादा ही होशियार है. player 3 dot level is equal to, वो automatically level 3 तक चले गया वो. I mean he played so hard that he reached level 3. So if I say system.out.println player 3 level क्या होगा? What will be the level of player 3? player 3 का level क्या है अभी? 4 होगा कि 3 होगा? 3. No. If I again print this player 1 ka level, player 1 has not progressed anything. Okay, I will print the player 1 has not progressed anything. I'll print player 1's level once again. What will be the level of player 1 this time? 1 only. You did not increase because उस object अलग, उस profile अलग, ये profile अलग. आ profile वेरी, profile वेरू. See, player 1 is still at 1 only. Player 3 is at level 3. So now you understood the concept of instance variable. Constructor, until you get constructor, you will not understand these concepts. That is why I have reserved it for constructor concept. ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా? Every instance variable is different, but all of them will have the same dashboard, user dashboard, leaderboard ఉంటుంది కదా. ఇప్పుడు అబ్బా ఇంత చిన్న ఉంది మెసేజ్, ఇది ఇమేజ్. సరే, see, this is your leaderboard. How many matches, how many points, how many win, how many loss. This is your leaderboard. Is this going to be different for each one of you? It is going to be same. When we open this, now let's not get deep into PUBG. I don't know how it works, but when there is a leaderboard क्या है? Leaderboard मतलब who is currently the number 1 ranking player, who is currently the number 2 ranking player. All these details, are they going to change for you? For each profile will you get a different number 1 ranking player? Player 1 के लिए different number 1 ranking, player 2 के लिए different number 1 ranking. Nothing like that. All the players will see the same player number 1 ranking. So these are your static variables, because you are not accessing them with the help of any object. Object के साथ access नहीं कर रहे हो. Even you create the object, you don't create the object, it will remain the same. So but is that a constant? No. Don't you think every day the leaderboard will change? Every week the leaderboard will change. Let's say I world one player, I was able to play PUBG this entire week. Don't you think I'll come down from level leader number 1, I mean position number 1? Don't you think someone else will take my place next week? Same. Static variables are also like the same thing. Static variables are common, that will be shared by everyone, but they are not constant. They can be updated, but it's just that when you create an object, यहाँ पे object create करने पे क्या हो रहा है? What is happening here? What is happening here when you are creating an object? What is happening is everyone is starting from the initial value. Sometimes you should not be starting from the initial value always. So you should start from the previous value only. So in that case, you will use static. Why static? If you declare it as static means you don't need any object to access it, because the problem is when you create the object, you're again accessing from the initial value, but you want to access it from where it was previously. Then you don't need to use object. If it is static, without object you can access it. That is why for static variable I told you that it is declared like an instance variable, but no need of object, using the static keyword. This is how your constructors, variables, class, main method are used. Even your normal methods also. Why is it called a void method and why is it called a return type method? Simple. Main method is a void method. అవునా కదా? Public static void main, but not public static int main, or not public static float main. Public static void main बोलते हैं main method को हम लोग. Then why is it void? What is the meaning of void? Void means no output. Void means it will not give us anything back. The Rajpal Yadava video that I have shared with you. No, now let's say you will open your PUBG application from your mobile phone. You'll open it from your PUBG. You'll open the PUBG application from your mobile phone. How will you open? You'll just click on that particular start button. I mean the application. Will it give back any output for you, or will it just open the game? कुछ output देगा क्या तुमको वापस? The value is बोल के कुछ देगा? Is it going to give you anything? It will just load the game. That's it. So void methods are only for doing the task, but not giving any output back. Not always you will need an output. कभी कभी काम करना है तो करना है बस. You want to execute a piece of code, you will have to execute. ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంటే ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలంతే, అవుట్పుట్ ఏమి ఉండదు దానికి కొన్ని సార్లు. దెర్ ఇస్ నో అవుట్పుట్ ఫర్ ఇట్. ఓకే, సో void methods are those kind of methods. Return type methods are those methods which will give you some output. Okay, you are transferring some money to your friend. Money is getting deducted and money is getting credited. Money is debited, money is credited here. That's like a return type method. It is giving some output. But if you are just doing balance inquiry, are you getting any money back? You are just displayed the balance amount pending. That's like a void method. This is how you need to understand these concepts. Clear or any doubt? Clear or any doubt? What is the difference between void method and a constructor? Constructor is automatically created when an object is created. You don't have to call it separately. Whereas for a void method, you need to create the object and then you need to call the method. Okay? And constructor name is same as the class name. Your method name can be or cannot be the same as the class name. Your void method does not give any output. Even constructors do not give any output. Maybe that's one similarity that you have between constructor and but without an object, your method can still be executed, which are your static methods, which you'll learn in the upcoming sessions. If there is no object, there is no constructor, straightforward. But your methods, void methods or return type methods, can still be executed even without any object, which are your static methods. Just like your static variables, you have static methods also. So that's the major difference. Now that we understood our constructor, let's come back to our scanner. Scanner क्या होता है? What is the meaning of scanner? So majority of you have been using scanner. बहुत सारे लोग स्कैनर यूज कर रहे थे. Everyone was continuously using scanner even after telling no. So what is scanner? What does it do? Scanner is a specialized class in Java which will take inputs from the user. But where will it take the inputs from? The inputs will be taken from the console or sometimes even from a file also. Your text file, most of the times text file only. So if you are basically providing inputs from some other location, maybe console or file, you need a class called as scanner. And scanner constructor, as you can see here, don't you think this is the scanner constructor, scanner class ka constructor? We are creating the object for the scanner class. So यहाँ पे scanner constructor, what is the parameter for the scanner constructor? System.in. So it is expecting, system.in means it is expecting some input values from console से input expect कर रहा है वो. But even after writing the code correctly, I am still getting error. When code correct గా రాసినా కూడా, even after writing the code correctly also, I am still getting the error. Why am I still getting the error? Because समझा नहीं, मैं एग्जीक्यूट ही नहीं करा. कंसोल तक जाना बोले तो मेरे को एग्जीक्यूट करना है ना. आई नीड टू एग्जीक्यूट ओनली, देन आई विल गेट द कंस्ट्रक्टर. आई डिड नॉट एग्जीक्यूट इट. इवन एट द टाइम ऑफ राइटिंग द कोड ओनली आई एम गेटिंग द एरर. The reason is there is something called as a package in Java. You all know what packages are. You all have your own packages. But Java also comes with some inbuilt predefined packages. Java maybe, along with Java contains predefined classes, predefined methods, predefined packages, predefined all these predefined things are already present in Java. You need to know which predefined class, method or constructor or package you need to use. ఏది వాడాలి నీకు తెలియాలా. So now when you write this code like this, although the code is correct only, your compiler does not understand what this code is about. ये code क्या है? What does this code do? ये code ఏం చేస్తుంది అనేది compiler కి there is no idea for the compiler. So you need to tell the compiler what this scanner is all about. ये scanner क्या है? Compiler is confused कि what is this scanner? If you have created an object for this class, scanner concept, then compiler would not have been confused. Scanner concept SS is equal to new scanner concept. Compiler is not confused. उसको confusion नहीं है वहाँ पे, because the class is clearly visible here. उसी class में उसका object create कर रहे हो. अदे class में then object create just no. You are creating the object for the same class in the main method. Now compiler will not get confused for this object creation, but for this object creation constructor will definitely get your compiler will definitely get confused. Why? it does not know what this scanner class is, where this scanner class is. When you create object for here, it is visible here only. yahi pe hai wo class. So obviously for that it will create object without any issue. But when it comes to this scanner, compiler needs to understand where this scanner is. Ye kahan pe hai? Where is this scanner? Where are you taking this scanner from? Is this your own code or is this a code from the Java compiler, inbuilt JDK? कहाँ से ले रहे हो? You need to inform this to the compiler very clearly. How do you inform the compiler? Before the start of the class only. Class start होने से पहले ही. First you will write the package details. You all know this. Package details लिखने के बाद. For me I don't have any package, so that is why I am not writing any package here. So after writing the package details, I need to write something called as import. Import is one of the 50 Java reserved keywords. Import followed by package name dot subpackage name dot class name. So you are telling compiler ki bhai, go into this package called as Java. Inside that package there is a subpackage called as util. Inside that subpackage there is a class called as scanner. This is the location from where I am referring to this particular class. This is what you are telling your compiler. It's like a file path or a location. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ లొకేషన్ ఎట్లా చూపిస్తావు నువ్వు? Just like how you show some location here. Okay? Here, what is the location for this file? And you'll give this location like this. Similarly, think of your import statement also the same way. But this instruction is something understood only by the JDK or the Java compiler that you use. So, import statement is like the giving file location or giving the location of your class. So, how do you understand this? Import ke baad, the first thing that you get is the package name. Import ke baad, import tarvata ventane, immediately after import, the first thing that you come across is the package name. If there is no package involved, import is not required. Import is required only when there are packages. When you are dealing with packages, only then import is required. So, import java dot util dot scanner. First one is always the package name. Last one is always either a class or an interface. Now that you don't know interface, think of it as a class only. So, first one is always the package name. Last one is always the class name. Beech mein kya hai? If at all there is anything in the middle, that's going to be subpackage. Sometimes you can create a package inside the package also. If you observe here, this is my package. Inside this, I can create one more package if you want. See, I created one more package inside the same package. Not a problem. If I want to put this program into this package, I can put, no problem. And if you observe the package details, previously you all were writing only your package name directly. Package followed by your name. But now it's a little bit different. Package followed by package name and then your sub package name. Inside this you can create one more sub package also. फिर से एक sub package भी create कर सकते. Like this you can create as many sub packages as you want, your wish. So why are we using packages? To organize our classes better. So previously or right now all of you have like this package like this, but for me package name, even my sub package name also if I want. So the same thing is happening even in your scanner also. Java is the package, util is the sub package. Inside that sub package I have my scanner class. That's why I am calling it like this. इस तरह call कर रहा हूँ. Now class contain क्या रहते हैं? What does a class contain? Class labels, methods. Okay? Called as sc dot next. What is this sc dot next? Let's understand. Next ka return type. When you use your next method, the return type is a string. So it will have to be stored in a string variable like this. String. Okay? Text is equal to sc dot next. And before this, I will write something like this. Okay? Observe what is happening here. Enter input. It is asking me for input. Why? Because I have created my scanner object and I am saying sc.next. So whatever that I enter now will be read by this sc.next method and it will be stored in this text variable. నేను ఏం టైప్ చేసినా సరే ఇప్పుడు whatever that I type will be read by this next method and it will be stored in this text variable which is a string. So enter input. I'm going to enter NIT. So what am I doing? This piece of code will allow me to enter the input into my console and this piece of code sc.next. Okay, so hold on a minute, let me show you. So it is asking you to enter the input. Even before I entered the input, it is stopping the program. Why? There is no way I can store my input that I have entered. मैं जो input enter कर रहा हूँ, there is no way it can be stored. It has to be stored. अभी तुम pin type करोगे. When you go to the ATM, you will type the pin, 4-digit pin. If the pin is right or wrong, if I have to check, I'll have to store it in a variable. Then I'll have to go to the database. Then I'll compare the database password with the database pin with the pin that you have entered. So मेरे को store करना है कहीं पे. So I'll have to store it. So I'll store it like this. But to store, I need a method because जो तुम enter कर रहे हो, whatever that you are entering, I need to recognize what it is. मेरे को समझ में आना है कि तुम क्या enter कर रहे हो. నాకు అర్థం కావాలి కదా నువ్వు ఏం enter చేస్తున్నావు అని. I need to know what you are entering. Are you entering a number? Are you entering a text? Are you entering a character? Are you entering Boolean value? What is it that you are entering? I am simply saying next. What does next do? Next will read your input as a string. Next method is going to read your input as a string. So if you observe now, next method is going to read my input and store it in text variable and I am printing whatever that I have entered as the input, NIT. Okay, so if I hit enter after entering my input, after typing my input, I'll hit the enter key. See, whatever I have typed has been displayed in the output. Now I'll execute one more time. NIT Amirpet. What did it print? Only NIT. Let's execute one more time. Okay, Amirpet, Hyderabad, TS. Okay, but it is still taking only Amirpet. What is happening here? What do you think is the reason? Wherever you get the first white space, ఎక్కడైతే మీకు ఫస్ట్ వైట్ స్పేస్ వచ్చిందో, till there it will capture everything. After the white space, after the first white space, everything is ignored. First white space వరకే. Next method is used only for this kind of input capturing. So if you want to capture anything till the first white space, then use next. But if you want to capture the entire line, white space or space are both same. So then what if you want to read the entire line? String text is equal to sc dot next line. Next line is going to read the entire line that you type. Whatever you type, how many ever spaces you type, that entire line will be read. So if you observe here, see, I have given so many spaces and I am hitting enter. Everything is read. So the entire line will be read by next line. Next will read only till the first white space. Next line will read the entire line. But what if I want to read the integer values? मेरे को integer values read करना है. sc dot next int. मेरे को इंटीजर वैल्यू एंटर करना है अभी. I want to enter an integer value. You will enter your amount that you want in the ATM. You cannot enter a text. You can enter only numbers. So in that case, I will force my user So sc dot next int, what will be the return type of next int? Integer. It can be stored in an integer variable. So int number is equal to sc dot next int and system dot out dot println num plus 10. I want to add 10 or I want to add 100 for that particular number. Whatever number is entering, I'll add 100 to that particular number entered in the input. So enter input, I'm entering 50 as the number, I'm getting 150 because 100 is automatically added. That's how I have written the program. So this is how you can use your scanner to take inputs from the user. So not just int, you can even use, okay, not just integer, you can even use sc dot next float, okay, or sc dot next boolean, or sc dot next character. You have a string, so obviously you can handle it using a string. Next long, next double, next short, all of this. So you can use sc dot next and read any of these particular values. So this is how you can use your scanner class. Scanner and everyone was continuously using scanner. This is how scanner works. అర్థమైందా స్కానర్ అంటే? అండర్స్టూడ్ యువర్ స్కానర్? Understood? No. Now that we have learned our different methods, return types, integer, return type method, void methods, constructors, your scanner, the final topic for today is going to be your method overloading. Your your third OOPS concept, polymorphism. Polymorphism there will be two types. I mean, two concepts, overloading and overriding. So you will see method overloading. What is method overloading? I'll simply give you a definition which should be more than enough for you to understand what it is. So a single class having multiple methods of the same name but different parameters is method overloading. A single class having multiple methods of the same name but different parameters. How? Observe. Your main method. Apart from the main method, you can create your own method also like this. Void A. This is one void A method. Next, if you want to do overloading, what did I say? Same method name but different parameters. So same method name again. Nothing wrong. Same method name but this time different parameters. So no error. If you don't put this int x, error. Same method name cannot be used again and again, but different parameters. See, simple. Okay. Next, one more void A. This time we'll put it as float y. You can create one more method of your choice if you want. void a, again void a, same void a. Okay, int x is already there, float y, your wish. Like this you can create as many methods as you want, but using the same name but different parameters. Parameter sequence, parameter types are very important. This is how you can use it. This is how method overloading will be helpful. Where did we use method overloading, or where are we going to use method overloading? In your strings. Best example I can give you is from strings. Strings mein substring and substring, both of their names is substring only. Substring of starting and ending index, substring of only beginning index. See, method name is same for both of them, substring and substring. But here parameters, two parameters are required, and here only one parameter is required. So if you give two parameters, this substring method will be automatically called. If you give only one parameter, this substring method will be automatically called. You have these many methods. In methods you have these many methods. How will the compiler understand which method are you calling? In चारों में से how will compiler understand? Simple, based on the parameters that you are sending. So I'll create an object here. Method overloading, mo is equal to new method overloading. mo.a. This method a does not have any parameters. So obviously my compiler will call this method only. I don't have to tell the compiler where it is present. Because there is no, what is different between all these methods? Only parameters are different. So based on the number of parameters that you give, it will automatically call that particular method. m.a, if you give mo.a, if you give 1 or 1.4f, it will automatically call this method. No. Ultimately, variable name is not important, variable type is important. You cannot have void a, ऊपर वाला float a, this one will be float z. No, wrong. Because float is float, that's a local variable, does not matter. So, wrong. So, based on the parameters that you give, mo.a, only 2, this time integer wala is called, mo.a, this time 1, 1.2f, the one with two parameters, integer and float, that is called here. So if you observe, this is how your method overloading works. See? This is how your overloading usually works. Interview may very commonly asked question, what is the difference between overloading and overriding in Java? If you want to learn overriding, we need to complete inheritance. Inheritance होने के बाद overriding आएगा. This is your overloading. This is how you can do overloading. Now, today's assignment. We'll stop it here for today. I'll not explain one more topic. I'll push all these programs. I've sent you this code, all these programs that we discussed in today's session. Now, assignment is like this. So this is your string. This is your string. From this string, I want you to find out. Okay? I want you to find out how many times is the word will is used. Okay? Will. W-I-L-L, will. Out of this entire string. This entire thing is one string. Okay? This entire thing is one string. So I want you to find out how many times WILL will is present in this entire string. Okay? How many times are you seeing that particular string? So let me send it to you in the chat box. Someone will paste it in the Slack group. And also how many times is your TO2? TO2 is visible. How many times is TO2 visible? How many